Hello, and welcome to Prepare for Success training with the Shewell Foundation Employment Services. This training is designed for employment applicants with veteran or military spouse preferences. However, the valuable information shared in this training can be applied to many different types of applicants. The Prepare for Success training covers 3 lessons and 3-part videos. Part 1, resume writing. Part 2, application process. And Part 3, interviewing skills. These videos can be found at the Shewell Foundation YouTube account, or you can contact the Shewell Foundation office. The slides for these trainings are embedded with links to websites and resources discussed. Please reach out to the Shewell Foundation office at the email address provided to request your copy of the training materials. This training video will cover Prepare for Success Training Part 3, Interviewing Skills for Veterans and Military Spouses. During this training, we will review scheduling interviews and how to prepare. We will discuss completing employer research, preparing for in-person and virtual interviews, as well as potential interview questions. We will review professional attire categories to make the best first impression. This session will also review the follow-up after interviewing, as well as the overall employment services process with Prepare for Success. When scheduling an interview with an employer, it is important to clarify the type of interview being requested, such as in person at a specific location, virtual on a digital platform, or by phone. You will want to ensure that you are available before confirming an interview with an employer, verifying that you have the childcare or transportation needed to attend. If an employer has called with a potential interview time and you are unsure of your availability, ask if you can check your schedule and return their call. This option is more favorable than scheduling and having to call back to reschedule. Be responsive by answering calls and emails promptly. Remember, you want this interview, so show initiative. Also, be flexible. The employer may have a limited schedule due to other panelists assisting with the interview. Preparing for interviews has several approaches, to include employer research, preparations for an in-person versus a virtual interview, preparing for interview questions, and preparing your professional appearance. Employer research can be one of the most valuable tools with having a successful interview. Employer research is important because it provides you context for the interview conversations and prepares you to provide thoughtful answers. When researching an employer, become familiar with their product, services, or operations. Review their company website, social media, news articles, or recent achievements. This will help discover the company's culture and what you can bring to the table as a potential candidate. This research can help develop how to answer interview questions so that you target important roles that they are looking for. This slide also includes a link for how to prepare for an interview in 11 steps to include employer research guidance. For in-person interviews, it is important to be on time, so allow yourself additional time for traveling to the interview location in cases of changes in traffic. You will want to be presentable with your clothing, hygiene, and attitude. Once you walk through the door, leave the stress of the traffic or obstacles you face during the day and put your best foot forward. Be prepared with copies of your resume and any other required documents. Be respectful to not only showing up on time for your interview, but also not going over the allotted time. Before leaving, thank them for the opportunity and ask when you should expect a response. This slide also includes a resource link for 6 useful tips for acing your next in-person job interview. For virtual interviews, it is recommended to verify the platform being used and download it in advance. Log into the app or website and test your accessibility beforehand. You will want to ensure that you have good internet connection and that your camera is functioning properly. Create a space for your interview that is clean without a busy background and good lighting. Dress for success, even virtually. You will want to look polished and professional to include your attire. Virtual interviews translate well when you are wearing a blazer, and be aware of the coloration, such as a dark background with dark attire creating the floating head effect, or flesh tone colors like tan or beige. Benefits to having a virtual interview are that you can have notes, but continue to ensure you are making eye contact. This slide includes a resource link, tips for making a good impression in a virtual job interview. Interviewing tips. Know the position you are applying for and frame your responses with the qualifications they are looking for. Be sure to highlight your experience and give examples from your resume. Be as detailed as possible with your responses, but do not ramble in your answers. If you do not understand a question, ask to have it repeated or explained. Provide real life examples to support your responses. Be prepared to also ask questions by using your employer research to show interest. And with any interview, always ask when to expect a response or a decision. Interview questions may vary from employer to employer. However, there are types of interview questions you can prepare for that will be beneficial in any situation. Many employers are now using the behavioral based interviews, or BBI questioning, with answers in the STAR format. There are lots of sources with sample interview questions to include the resources provided on the slide. There is also a handout available from She Will Foundation that lists common interview questions. Behavioral-based interviews is a technique used by employers to evaluate an applicant based on their previous behavior by asking situational questions to learn about specific experiences. Employers are trying to learn how you behaved in a real-world situation, understand how you add value to situations, and view how you handle pressure and prioritize tasks. To prepare for BBI questions, start by writing down stories about your experiences that would be applicable to a job interview. These stories come from real life experiences in your employment history or personal life. Practice these stories and descriptions out loud so that you become familiar with your wording. The response for BBI questions is answered in the STAR format. The acronym STAR stands for Situation, Task, Action, and Results. The situation, providing the setting of the experience you are about to share. Task, to illustrate the challenge you are faced. Action, to detail how you handled the situation and overcame obstacles. And results, which is what was achieved during the process. The bonus answer with BBI questions is answering in STARry, where the impact you made is also included. Responses to BBI questions should answer all aspects of the question, as many have multiple parts. You want to be specific and as detailed as possible, but do not ramble. Stay on point and follow the STAR format. Prepare for your interview by writing out your STAR answers for common BBI questions, such as customer service, teamwork, or meeting deadlines. Practice your responses so that you feel more comfortable with them during an interview. Professional appearance is your first impression during an interview. Whether it is in person or virtual, your professional appearance is crucial. Always have clean clothes that are in good condition. Be showered with hair combed and personal hygiene in order. Appropriate attires are in neutral colors such as black, white, gray, navy blue, or brown. You can add a hint of color, but don't add distracting pieces. Attire includes dress pants, skirts and dresses below the knee, blazers, blouses, and cardigans. Ensure your clothes fit but are not too tight or excessively form-fitting. If you are not sure about the fit of your attire, err on the side of caution to be loose. Shoes should be closed-toed heels, flats, or short boots. Do not wear shoes that are too high or uncomfortable, as it will translate in your interview. Avoid bright colors or loud patterns or anything that could be distracting during an interview. Do not wear flip-flops or knee-high boots. When interviewing in person, it is also important not to wear strong smelling perfumes. The interviewer may have a sensitivity and the fragrance may be distracting or cause them distress. The first category of professional appearance is smart casual. This attire is recommended for directly applying with an employer to include inquiring about an application. Wear a neutral colored blouse or top that covers your shoulders. Do not wear tank tops, low-cut tops, or bare midriffs. Pants should be a neutral in color and can be more casual, such as chinos or colored non-distressed denim. Stay away from blue jeans, especially ones that are heavy with distressed styling. Shoes can be casual flats or heels. Stay away from open-toe shoes or flip-flops. The next category of professional appearance is business casual. This attire is the minimum for all interviews and job fairs. Wear a neutral colored blouse with a tailored or fitted blazer. This particularly translates well for virtual interviews. In lieu of a blazer, you may also opt for a cardigan. A dress pant is most appropriate for this attire. However, dresses and pencil skirts below the knee are also acceptable. Wear comfortable pumps or fancy flats that you can easily walk in. The highest category of professional appearance is business formal, which can be worn for any interview, but recommended for high-level interviews or any time you want to make an impactful impression. The attire typically is a traditional dress suit with a blazer and matching dress slacks. Stick with neutral colors like black, navy, or gray. Your top should be a solid neutral color and preferably a button-up blouse. Heels are also an option, but ensure that they are not too high and are comfortable. Other options are ballet flats or loafers. If you need clothing resources with creating your professional appearance attire, Sheba Foundation offers free clothing through the community closet. There are several options of professional pants, jackets, shoes, and more. The community closet is open Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 p.m. till 2 p.m. at the Colleen location. You can always call or email the office for availability on specific sizes. Do not wait until you have an interview scheduled to find your professional attire. Start looking now so that you can be prepared and ready for your next interview and employment opportunity. After the interview, there are some important follow-up steps. Within the first 24 hours, it is appropriate to send a short and professional email to say thank you for the opportunity. Next, allow the discussed response timeline from the interview. This is typically within 1 to 2 weeks after an interview, but does vary from employer to employer, so it is important to ask this question before leaving the interview. Be sure to use the best form of contact, whether it is email, phone call, or in person. If you don't hear back, don't assume something is wrong. The timeline may have changed, so following up again shows continued interest, but do not over-contact. After your first 1 to 2 week follow-up, allow another week before following up again. If you are not selected for the position, reach out to request feedback on your interview so that you can learn from the experience, and ask about future employment opportunities. Now that you've completed all 3 of the Prepare for Success training lessons, let's discuss what you should do next. Prepare for Success training is available in on-demand videos. Training versions include veterans, military spouse, and entry level. This slide provides the links for all of the training videos available with the She Will Foundation Employment Services. You can request a copy of these slides to include the embedded resource links at the email address provided. Start writing your resume by gathering the required information needed. Use a template to ensure you have all the information and retrieve any required documents you will need for the application process. You will also request to schedule an individual assistance meeting with the She Will Foundation Employment Services by contacting the office for availability. Start registering for virtual job fairs at Job Fair X. Review the upcoming schedule and register for the category you're interested in. It is recommended to register at least 1 week out to allow ample time to match with employers. Respond to interview requests by scheduling during the specific virtual fair dates and times. You can also register for Job Fair X, as well as other local job fairs, through Eventbrite. She Will Foundation has Wi-Fi and computers available for writing your resume, applying for jobs, and virtual interviews. Be sure to contact the office to make a reservation. Begin your job search by signing up for the recommended websites, searching for job listings, and applying for positions. You can also start your job search in person by directly visiting employers in your professional attire. Prepare for your interview by researching employers and commonly asked interview questions. Start developing your real-life examples and practicing your STAR answer method. Rehearse your answers out loud and practice mock interviews. Don't wait to have your professional attire ready. Visit the She Will Foundation Community Closet to get your attire in order beforehand. Additional employment resources available for veterans include Interagency Career Transition Program, Feds Hire Vets Program, and the Workforce Solutions of Central Texas Veteran Services. Texas employment assistance includes the Texas Workforce Commission. Available community services can be found on the Colleen and She Will Foundation listings. Or you can visit the Help List website to view other assistance programs available in the Colleen, or you can search for your location. The Colleen Housing Authority has resources listed, and the Texas Health and Human Services SNAP application is linked to this slide. Other veteran-related resources include Bell County Veteran Services, who help with obtaining VA benefits. The Veteran Readiness and Employment, formerly known as Vocational Rehab, can assist with employment and educational benefits. The Veteran Affairs Homeless Programs and Texas Veterans Commission provide housing assistance. If you need copies of your military records or DD-214, you can request them through the resource links provided. To apply for veteran health care or disability compensation, visit the Veterans Affairs website and submit the appropriate VA forms provided here. Find out how you can use your GI Bill benefits to continue your education and training at the resource link in this slide. This concludes our Prepare for Success training for veterans and military spouses by the She Will Foundation Employment Services. We truly hope that you've gained valuable knowledge to assist you in the resume, application, and interviewing processes for your employment future. Thank you for joining us, and please let us know if you have any questions by contacting our office at the email provided.